Design terminology can be confusing as hell. Take the design thinking and design sprint. Are they the same thing? No. Are they radically different? No again. When to use design sprint and when design thinking? That's even more complicated. But I have a clear answer for you, so keep watching. Hi, I'm Ilya, the founder of Eleken, product design agency for SaaS. In this video, I'll walk you through the differences and similarities between design thinking and design sprint methods. I'll also help you to understand when to apply each of them. If you're new here, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And let's jump into the video. What is design thinking? It's a human-centered design methodology that includes empathy and creativity in order to generate solutions that stand out. This methodology for discovering and solving problems helps product teams to drive innovations for the global market. Design thinking became popular in Stanford University in 1980s. A decade later, it was introduced by creative agency IDEO to the business world. Design thinking process consists of 5 phases that lead you from defining the problem itself to finding the best possible solution to it. Empathy phase is when you listen to the needs of your target audience, which helps you to understand their perspective. Definition phase is for you to use the insights from your users to understand the problem and ensure that your solution addresses the correct challenge. Ideation phase. In this stage, you unleash your creativity and generate possible solutions to the problem. Prototyping. During this stage, you create a working prototype to embody your idea. Testing. You test your prototype to reveal what works and what doesn't. You can repeat the ideation, prototyping, and testing stages as much as needed until you find the creative and practical solution to the problem. This framework is used by the world's most admired companies like Uber, Airbnb, Netflix, Intuit, IBM, and more. We should also state that Eleken team applies design thinking in almost every project we work on. I've gone into greater detail about this in my video about design thinking versus agile. If you want to learn more about this topic, check it out here. Design thinking has proven itself as a method that withstands the test of time. In fact, design thinking methodology was also a ground from which a new approach of design sprint has sprouted. Now, what is a design sprint? Design sprint emerged around 2010 in Google venture that invests Google money into startups. And this is exactly the case when the origin best explained the essence and the main purpose of the concept. It's not a secret that responsible investing is more than just handling money to potential successful startups. It is also a mentorship in order to help new companies grow. So Jake Knapp and his colleagues from Google Ventures came up with a rocket-fast method that helped them validate startup ideas and train them to grow. It was a design sprint, a 5-day process based on design thinking methodology that aimed to validate business idea, design, or redesign product. Design sprint consists of 5 main stages: map, sketch, decide, prototype, and test. We are going to look at them one by one. Map. This is a stage where you set the goals of the whole sprint. You gather all valuable data on the problem statements and customer profiles, map the user journey, and define the project scope. Sketch. It's a stage of the ideation process that is often conducted as a sketching workshop. During the workshop, you create hypotheses and assumptions based on the gathered data. Decide. Team members vote for the best idea. It can be done through open discussion or silent voting. Prototype. You create a prototype of your solution. Choose what you will build based on your team's skill sets and time constraints. Test. You put your assumptions to the test with the real users to find if the potential solution works. After these 5 stages, you evaluate findings with the stakeholders and identity areas of improvements for the next iteration or release. Design sprint is a pretty popular framework. Slack, Twitter, and many other successful companies have used it. Design sprint is still the most popular among startups, but it doesn't mean only early stage companies can use it. The beauty of the design sprint is that it scales well regardless of the team size or company. It is a simple framework that allows you to cut through complexity and get right to business. The biggest fans of this method often compare this to cooking recipe. That's how precise, clear, and fast its steps are. You can take the design thinking philosophy and toolkit and apply it to the product through a design sprint in just a few days. Now, what do design thinking and design sprint have in common? Albert Einstein once said, "If I had an hour to solve the problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions." He was a wise man. It is no secret that most businesses fail because they solve an issue nobody cares about. Solving a problem is nowhere near as important as solving the right problem. And it's exactly what design thinking can help you with. It was created to define the problem worth solving. Design sprints are used to fix already defined problems. It's a method for creating a mock-up with limited time and resources. Design thinking process can take months and have an open end, whereas the design sprint is strictly time limited. Design thinking usually has a broad project scope scope. Design sprint, in contrast, targets a specific single problem. And now it's time to address the main issue: when to use design sprint and when design thinking. I recommend using design thinking when the idea for the product or feature is raw. The methodology will help you define the challenge itself and find the creative solution to it. Design sprint is highly business-oriented. It works best when the problem or idea is already defined. It is especially useful when you are limited in time or resources. Design sprints are also very effective when you want to test a sudden insight, or when you face a blocker and need to break through with a decision. You can surely use both design thinking and design sprint, especially if you work on a big project. Combined, these methodologies give even stronger results. That's all for now. I hope that was useful. Hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.